Hey guys and dolls, so I'm getting right into it. This is going to be another Book of Shadows story time. I have two stories I would like to read to you, and yes, I know we all have some weird ass dreams. I think my stories and my Book of Shadows, I have two, are more than just dreams. Uh, they're crazy, they're weird, I don't understand. I know that some things come from life and movies and fears and the drama in your life, but these these really do take the cake. So one is on paper because I have yet to write it in my book. It was that recent. Anytime you see paper stories, you know that the dream was probably a week or two or even a month ago. And then of course when I'm reading from my book, that means that they have been in here for ages. Okay guys, per usual, if you really like my videos, I would love it if you left a comment, interact with me, tell me what you think, and I would love to hear, I don't know, tell me about a dream you've had. Tell me something that's unusual that you don't understand. I would love to interact with you on a different level, not just you leaving a comment if you liked it or not, but really like asking me a question or I don't know, just anything to interact with you guys. I would love to interact with you guys more. I love that I have new subscribers and they keep growing. And yeah, the more the merrier. Everyone's welcome on my channel. I'm going to start off with the one actually that's in the book. I name all of my stories, so this one is called The Family. Okay, so this dream takes place in a ritzy apartment complex. I have two older brothers. I used to work for a veterinary surgeon, and one of the guys, or one of my so-called brothers, because I have no brothers in real life, looked like one of the doctors I used to work with. Okay, so my father and mother are happily married. We have a typical family problems, but my parents seem to think if we had doubles, life would be a lot easier, like a twin. Okay, so life would be a lot easier. My father sets it up so we have these doubles. It was supposed to be simple. Whenever we were overstressed with work or family crisis, the doubles would come in and relieve stressful situations. It started with my brother. We were shocked because we weren't warned or told about this switch off. We were all in the kitchen one day. My brother was arguing with our father when all of a sudden, two guys about my brother's age storm in. I immediately grab onto my brother as one of the guys walk up to him and says, "I'll take over from here." My brother looks at me and gently presses my hand. This is when everyone realized what our parents have done. He tells me, "Don't worry, everything will be okay. He will be back." Before I knew it, I begin to cry and go on to plead with my father that we can never get used to this. So I'm letting my father know, because at this point, if you didn't already understand, we had doubles. So my brother was arguing with my dad, and that's when these people came in to bring in the double. And that I didn't want my brother to go because I knew I just felt something really bad was going to happen. And then that's when I'm pleading with my father, please, we can't get used to this. My father says it's for our own good. I don't say goodbye to my brother, not realizing I would never see him again. As days go by, another brother gets replaced. My little sister and I become very afraid. We fear it's only a matter of time before we are taken away as well. One day, as I was trying to decide whether or not I should take my sister away, I overhear my parents speaking with my two replacement brothers and this guy. They had given him a fortune to run this experiment. We were all being filmed as well. They were telling him my real brothers weren't cooperating and they had to eliminate them. Our protests about our brothers being taken were becoming a problem for them. So they were showing my father who would be replacing us, and to kill two birds with one stone, how they would kill us. My father realizes what he has done. At that point, my mother is taken away and not replaced. My father agrees and becomes very, very sick. The replacements leave, and I run to my dad crying, begging, please, 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 please help us. Don't let them take us, please. My words fall on a cold heart. He simply says it must be done. I go away shaken and heartbroken and more afraid than I have ever been in my life. You see, I love my father so much. As a last-ditch effort, I hide and watch for him a while, hoping my bleeding heart would see some kind of remorse from the father I once knew. Then the replacements come back. I panic, but I can't move because just then my father begins to plead for our lives. His love for us overcomes him, but he is too weak, too sick, and I run to my sister's room and try to explain what's going on, but it's too late. They have a tape running of how our replacements will kill us. My father walks in, sicker than ever. He kisses me on the forehead and says, "I'm sorry. I love you. I love you, honey." They take him away. The tape is over and our replacements walk in. I hug my sister tight and we both start crying. And then I wake up. Oh my God, I forgot that freaking story. I have goosebumps. I want to cry. That was horrible, and I have no idea where they came from. That was a dream. Oh, wow. That was bad. Oh, okay, so let's go on to the second story. This one was more recent. This is called Dragon Slayer. Okay, I was in and out of this dream. Seems like I was traveling fast through different realms, cities all night long. I just stopped moving and end up in a foreign place I didn't recognize. It's some kind of city with beige buildings of all sizes and shapes everywhere. There are streetcars, a few people about, but nothing is familiar. I end up on top of one of the highest buildings overlooking a huge clearing. I couldn't make out everything, but it's a huge rectangular plot of land in the middle of the city with a chain link fence around it. There is miscellaneous debris strewn about and patchy grass everywhere with unusually shaped mounds here and there. I'm not sure, but from all the traveling and constant commotion that got me here, I realize I am in the middle of some kind of battle. Dragons. Oh my God. I can hear dragons, their wings and roars in the distance. From staring down so long, I can see the large mounds are not dirt. They are dragons. A person approaches me with the look on his face as if I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing, and definitely not where I should be. I am confused because I have no freaking clue what to do. The man is really tall, white blonde hair parted down the middle and a ponytail down his back. He has on a long metallic-looking jacket with a high collar, no buttons or pockets, and matching pants. His boots are brownish. He is very thin and pale with dark almond-shaped eyes. He comes at me with purpose, but realizing I have no clue what's going on, he quickly explains by telepathy what's expected of me. I was somehow chosen to find a very small magical object that could help swing the battle to our favor. We were losing badly, apparently. I was mesmerized by him and a bit afraid of him at the same time. He was annoyed at that. All of a sudden, the flapping of wings in the distance I was hearing was right over us. I ducked. He just shook his head at me, like, "Really, girl? What you doing?" It was his yellow dragon. It landed next to us. The dragon addressed his rider telepathically, but I could hear him too. Yellow explained we had to get the magical item, which was just beyond the clearing, and I was the only one who could find it and get it. I was standing there just mesmerized by them both. They were absolutely beautiful, by the way. Drooling, I think. Yellow explained he would have to pass over the huge red dragon asleep at the moment, guarding the way to the object. Compared to the red dragon, Yellow was tiny. We were high up, so we would have to ride down. It was the fastest way. This was the most vivid, exciting, incredible part of this dream. The dragon rider hopped on Yellow. Yellow had no saddle, just reins that were mostly there for decoration or if the rider needed a bit of help in staying on. I could see every beautiful yellow scale on his body, twinkling with a silvery glow. He was gorgeous. They both hovered just in front of the building, Yellow flapping his huge wings, trying to keep steady. Ryder turns to me and yells, "Hop on." I was like, "What?" I asked, "Can he hold us both?" Both at this point turned and gave me very annoyed looks. With that, I just jumped on and grabbed Ryder's waist. I noticed the material of his clothing felt like silk, and I could feel the warmth of Yellow underneath me. Ryder yelled, "Hold on." Yellow flapped his huge wings to gain momentum. His long neck rose high, then swung low, disappearing momentarily before us. As he leaned sideways and headed down, I felt everything. I felt the lightheadedness of the sudden rise and the pressure of the quick descent. I felt the ground go crazy upside down, so I buried my face in Ryder's back, waiting for it to be over. We glided down fast, but just as it looked like we would make it, a black dragon came out of nowhere and tried to bite Yellow on the neck. Yellow, in trying to avoid the bite, went in too low, too fast, and clipped the sleeping red dragon on the ground as he passed over him. Red was awake. The black dragon joined him. Without landing, Ryder had to get me down gently. He managed to do it by holding me by one arm and swinging me to the ground as gently as he could, and he told me to hurry. I had no idea what I was looking for. I wanted to hide. I actually wasted time trying to hide, but I knew the dragons would find me, and I could hear Ryder and Yellow desperately fighting Red. The black dragon was ordered to look for me from the air, but for some reason he couldn't see me. I felt help was coming, but not in time to save Ryder and Yellow, and if I didn't find that magic object, I started to desperately look for anything weird, but I was distracted by a few people staring at me from what looked like used to be a food court. I asked if they could help, and they didn't say no, but I knew it had to be me to figure it out. Some ran away from me, and I yelled, "If you don't help, we are all going to die." That's when this Asian woman in her mid-30s stepped forward. She pointed to a wall of what looked like old electronics. I went to the wall and pulled out a small chip of some kind. It had a small rectangular button face, but the body was very sharp, angled, and extremely shiny silvery color. The Asian woman looked at me and said, "You found it." Right then, a light silvery green dragon charged us all. In a panic, I pointed the chip at it, and it shrunk to the size of a lizard. I grabbed it and could feel its power was potent as it writhed in my hand, in between my fingers, but it began growing back to its original size. The Asian woman screamed at me, "Do something before it grows back." I popped its head off and ripped it in two. Ew, so disgusting. Okay, I dropped the bloody remnants and stepped back in shock. I realized then that we had the upper hand and would win. The Asian woman smiled at me. She was also a magical being. As I turned to find Yellow and Ryder, to my utter disappointment, I wake up. So those are my two stories. I hope you enjoyed them. They are weird as hell. I don't know where they come from. I know I'm a sci-fi fan. I know I love dragons. I know I love all things paranormal, sci-fi, you name it. But a lot of these things they just come from nowhere. And a lot of them I don't understand. And some are so real. The Dragon Slayer I felt and saw everything in color. Just like I'm now looking into the lens of this camera, it was extremely real. But yeah, those were my two stories from my Book of Shadows. I hope you liked it. My God, the hair is just not cooperating. It's really rainy, dreary day today. Perfect for stories. So hopefully this catches you at a time when you're really just wanting to forget whatever is happening in your life, in your day. And if I've entertained you in any way, or if you enjoyed this video in any way, I'm so happy. Again, I would love to hear what you think down below. And yeah, guys, make your decisions. Have a great day. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.